Okay, back again with another gambling video of my top 5 favorite bets of the week. I went 4-1 last week. Pretty proud of that. We'll see if I can continue it. Probably not. I'll probably not do so well because again, I want to keep making sure I say this in every single video. Most people do not make money gambling, so do not take these and think I'm going to make $1 million betting on Jackson's picks. No, do not do that. And I also, if you lose money on my picks, that's your fault, not mine. These are it's just for fun. That's all we're doing this for. Let's jump into the picks. First, give me New England over Buffalo here. I kind of like New England even without points. You're giving me 3 points for New England. I like these odds. And here's what I really like about New England and this situation is I just think that New England's a really good team. I think New England's maybe the best team in football. The Bills just lost Tre'Davious White. I don't think that they can really bounce back from that a ton. Even if they can, it's going to take more than a week. And the Patriots, their receiving core is really good. People don't realize this. The Patriots receiving core has been awesome this season. Maybe they don't have the one star, but they have just so many guys who can come through and they just have a plethora of weapons. Mac Jones has played at a high level. They have a great running game. We all know the Patriots are great. I don't need to keep talking about this. But the way that you can beat the Buffalo Bills defense has kind of been on the ground, which they can run the ball on the ground. Now, I think the one way Buffalo might have a chance is if they run the ball and not just with halfbacks, but with Josh Allen. Have Josh Allen run the ball because that's how you can beat New England. But again, the Bills don't love to do that. They like to throw, and I just don't know if that's a great matchup. So I think the Patriots might be a better team. I think that it's definitely a better matchup. It is in Buffalo, so that's kind of the interesting stuff here. But I'm going New England to not just cover the 3 points, but to win this football game. All right, my next pick, give me the Broncos here, plus 10 against the Kansas City Chiefs. So, again, I don't think the Broncos are going to win against the Kansas City Chiefs, but can they stay within 10 points? I think so, especially when this is a secondary that should give the Chiefs defense some trouble. Now, the secondary actually hasn't played that well this season. We thought it would be the best secondary in football. Hasn't exactly worked out. But I still think that just the scheme itself should lend well to Denver, where they like to play a lot of cover 2 or quarters coverage. And with Kansas City, that's the exact coverage that hurts them. So sometimes teams are kind of in okay, do we play the coverage that the Chiefs are bad at, or do we play the coverage that we're good at? For the Broncos, the coverage they're good at is the coverage the Chiefs are bad at. Now, the question is how many points can Denver score? And that is a very fair and valid question. The Chiefs Chiefs defense has vastly improved. However, I still like Denver. I think they'll be able to put up some points, especially with their receiving core, which has been very good this season. So give me Denver not to win, but to cover a 10-point spread. Next, we have the 49ers taking on the Seahawks. I like San Francisco. I think that this line should be higher. Only 2.5 here. Granted, this is what it opened at. It might be higher now. I don't know. But the Seahawks have just looked so underwhelming. Maybe Russell Wilson could get better, and that's kind of the one question mark of this bet is, how confident do you feel in Russell Wilson continuing to suck? That is a very valid question, but for San Francisco, I mean, they're I think they're a much more talented team than we thought they would be, and I also think that this offense should be able to dominate the Seahawks defense. I mean, the Seahawks, we all know they love to play cover 3. Even when they don't, they still will play a lot of cover 3, and the San Francisco 49ers typically eat that kind of defense alive. I think they do that here. I think they cover a 3-point spread, so I'm going San Francisco here. Next, we have a divisional matchup. The Indianapolis Colts taking on the Texans. Give me the Colts to cover an 8.5-point spread. I know that's a big spread. I get it. I get that, that's kind of a bit of a scary pick when you're going that high, but I don't know. I think the Colts were impressive in their loss against Tampa Bay last week. I think that they showed that their offense can be fantastic. Jonathan Taylor should get 1,000,000 yards in this game. I've talked about how the Texans almost intentionally do not let other teams basically intentionally let teams run on them, and not in a Brandon Staley way of, okay, well, you won't be able to pass on us. No, you can still pass on them, but just they'll just let you run on them as well. Texans are not a good defensive football team, even if they decide to play cover 3, because those are the options. They're playing cover 3 or cover 2. They're not doing anything else, and we saw Tampa Bay really struggle trying to play cover 3 against the Colts offense. I think it's less about Tampa Bay. It's some about Tampa Bay, but it's more about the Colts offense. They're not going to turn the ball over 5 times in this one. They should torch the Texans defense, and on the flip side, Colts defense has been inconsistent, to say the least, but I don't think the Texans really have the tools to take advantage of that too much. So I like Indianapolis. I think that they blow out the Houston Texans, so I'll say that I would still bet on them despite an 8.5-point spread. And finally, another big spread, but I am going to go with the Arizona Cardinals here to cover a 7-point spread from Chicago. Now, one of the weird things with Chicago is who's playing quarterback, right? Is it Andy Dalton? Is it Justin Fields? That does change some things, I think. Now, I have read that Fields has returned from practice. I don't know if, it's going to be him or it's going to be Dalton. So that is fascinating. I do think regardless, the way that the Bears are going to try and win this game, and this is kind of why it could be a little bit scary for them trying to cover a 7-point spread, or for the Cardinals trying to cover a 7-point spread, is Chicago's going to run the ball a lot. That's what they like to do just in general. It's especially what they're going to do against a bad run defense. So that's kind of a bit of an issue. However, I don't think like Chicago can run the ball the way like Green Bay was able to against Arizona. So because of that, I think that you'll be all right. You'll be able to limit their offense as we've seen teams do in the past. The Cardinals still do cover very well. Darnell Mooney has played very good so far this season, but I don't know who else they really have. So I like the Cardinals, and I think that their defense will shut down the Bears' offense. And the flip side is I think they should be able to just torch the Bears' defense. The Bears' defense does not have a great secondary, and Arizona gets rid of the ball quickly. They can run well, obviously, with their scheme more than anything. If Chicago plays cover 2, they'll still be able to run the ball. And they're still be able to pass the ball down the field. That's the one thing about Arizona is they're the one team that even with 2 safeties deep still seemingly gets a ton of explosives. It doesn't seem to slow them down whatsoever. So part of it is just this is the talent thing. I think Arizona is just a much more talented team than Chicago. Now, part of it is I am saying this, I'm recording this video a couple days early, so it's possible because as of right now, the latest news is Kyler Murray should play, but if he can't play, then I would say do not bet on the Cardinals to cover. So maybe wait and make sure he's playing before doing that. Although again, it's more about for me, it's more about the topic of discussion than it is actually, who's going to win or lose. So yeah, interesting. Hopefully my goal every week is to go 3-2. That's what I'm going for. Try to get more right than wrong. That's my plan. And as of right now, I got a bit of a cushion going 4-1. I'm a little bit nervous about the, couple of these. I don't feel as strongly as I did last week, but love the Patriots Bills. That's if you are someone who bets. If you're someone who doesn't bet, I would just say I'm not going to ever tell someone to pick up gambling. That's just not something I'm going to do. But if you are someone who already does bet, I would definitely say Patriots and Broncos. Those are the 2 I feel the strongest about this week. So yeah, that's what I think. What do you guys think? What are your do you agree or disagree with these 5? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.